Capricorn, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early August 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Capricorn collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we have for these beautiful Cappies in early August, please? What energies, messages, insights can we take a peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for the Cappies. Let's get this first card out nice and quick. What's the vibe? What's the energy here in early August? Yeah, nice and quick. Okay, wake up. This is a very alert type of energy, of course, when we see a card like this. It's very vibrant, and I do believe you're probably the first zodiac sign to get this card since I've been using it for YouTube readings the past few months. I like it. To me, I mean, unless some of you are in a bit of a funk, that could also be it. But I'm seeing mainly positive from this card. But before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So again, the way the image looks, it's beautiful to me. I love the color scheme. We got the purple, the bright flowers, and Alice just seems to be sitting there. Now, wake up. In the rougher sense, we'll start off with that. If you feel like you've been in a bit of a funk, or if you've been just feeling a little bit off lately, I mean, this could be spirit saying like, all right, Capricorn, time to snap out of it. Time to get back on track. Okay. And again, no judgment here when it comes to any messages like that. It could also represent either being very alert or staying alert. Now, I don't want to be an alarmist or anything like that. But when I see a card like this, it's like, all right, pay attention. There's something you might really want to keep your eye on here when this card is in the mix. To me, it could also be like aha moments, dots connecting, where it's like, oh, okay, now that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I'm getting like eureka moments too. So this card has a lot of different energies that could come through with it. And I will also say, for some of you, if you've been having sleep issues, sleep problems, this card could potentially tie into that as well, where you might want to make sure you're getting proper rest when this card is here. So we're just going to let her chill out right there. She could hang out by the crystals. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the Cappies, please. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled An Explosive Change. Now, I do always say that life is never-ending change. Sometimes it's slower, sometimes it's faster. There's a lot of fiery type of energy. So to me, that means things could do a quick 180 on that, where it's like, all right, things could go from rough to really good, or vice versa. So that energy can bleed over for a couple weeks. So just keep your head on a swivel in this time, because I got something just changing quick, quick, quick. So we're going to see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for the Cappies, please. In early August, what is happening for my good friends? There we go. Page of Pentacles. Okay. That's one of your power cards. I do like it. It's a card of communication, which could be pretty nice here. Let's get him tucked in by the amethyst so he could just chill out for a minute. I mean, leading off with this card does seem okay to me. Let's get a couple more. Let's see what else we could get. Yeah, messages, communications. It could be good, fresh, new energy as well. Okay, we have the moon, big card of mystery. It's also complimentary for you. So I think this could be nice. It's a little mysterious, right? That's a big thing with the moon. It's like, what's behind that corner? Or what's coming up? Let's get one more. Page of Swords. So yeah, lots of people here. We got the Watcher of the tarot deck chilling out right here on the back. So we have double page energy. So there's going to be some themes. I will say this, it doesn't seem as volatile as it was last week, which is a good thing. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know, I always look at the elements first, because that cues us into different areas of life or how the energy is moving. We have a pretty even split here. So we have some earth, we have some water, we have some air. Now, earth, that's the realm of security, money, the material world around us. We have water, which is the emotional realm, the internal. It's very creative. It could be love and just emotion in general. And then we have air, the realm of logic and planning. Both of these cards are fresh, new. They're both learning something new and they're both talking. So that seems to be a big initial theme here. Something regarding communication or how you're putting yourself across could be extremely important when we have this layout. But what is this mystery? That's already like picking at my brain a little bit. But let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, we have the Page of Pentacles. And I already mentioned it, it's one of your power cards. So, again, not gender specific. Could be you or another earth sign showing up here with this Page of Pentacles. Um, so, yeah, the clarifier might just tell us something that's coming towards you, a way you might be feeling. And as already mentioned, they represent learning new things or being very studious. So, for a lot of Capricorns, any new ventures, really positive here. But the biggest thing is the messages, the talking, the communicating. So when I see the Page of Pentacles, it's like, all right, there's some sort of conversation of importance that could be coming in with this card. Either that or you're looking for a new route or looking for something fresh. There's nothing wrong with that. But as with all cards, there is a downside to the Page of Pentacles. Sometimes it could be a little inexperienced, where it's like, I'm not sure how I handle this. It's a card that could second guess itself. The Page of Pentacles can also be a little shy, a little bashful, a little unsure. So we're going to want to look at this much further, especially if like there's any situations or things you're going through where you're like, I'm not sure what I should do here. But it can be nice. Again, it could just represent a message or a talk coming in that we'll want to look at further. Now, moving to the center, we'll get the page tucked back where he belongs. We have the moon, so big Pisces energy right in the center of the spread. And when it comes to the moon, yes, it's water, so it's a complementary energy to you. As already mentioned, the realm of feelings and emotions, but this is a very subtle, quiet type of card. It's not like out there in the spotlight. It's something that's like extremely subtle. This card can speak about spirituality, unseen types of energies. So intuition, gut instinct, having flashes of intuition could be really important when we have the moon card. But I always say it's shrouded, so it can be something secret. It could be something unexpected. It could be something surprising. So we do want to look at it. Now that's not always a bad thing. Unless someone's like purposefully hiding something, which we want to look at. It could just tie into the communication that we're potentially seeing here. But again, I always say the moon isn't a bad thing. And yes, with the Pisces energy, to me, it's something that you could normally flow with, where it's like, okay, I kind of came out of nowhere, but I can work with it in one way or another. Now, moving to the back end, we have another page, but it does have a way different complexion than the page on the front. Whereas, like the Page of Pentacles up here, very studious, very particular, very driven, the Page of Swords, which is air sign, so it could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If that's not the case, like this page is very defensive, extremely skeptical. So yes, it could represent new things, it could represent new ventures, all the similar stuff to this Page of Pentacles. But this Page of Swords is like, I'm not sure. It's just extremely skeptical. So again, there could be a situation, a person, or something you're dealing with where it's like something feels a little off here. Something's not quite adding up. Now, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. The Page of Swords could just be protective. So maybe in this time, you're just a little extra protective of yourself and the things you value. Nothing wrong with that. But people also call this page the Watcher of the tarot deck. So again, you might be under someone's microscope. Maybe there's a situation or a person you're keeping tabs on. Or just like I said earlier in the reading with that wake up card, maybe there's something where Spirit's like, hey, Capricorn, pay attention to this. Keep your eye on this. That would be a big indicator with this Page of Swords. Sometimes it can even be planning something. Okay, but the real downside to the Page of Swords is sometimes it could be combative and very standoffish. So I'm not sure if you're dealing with someone that's a little standoffish, but we're going to tuck them in right there. I want to dive deeper on all of this, Capricorn. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for the Cappies. What is happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on Mr. Page of Pentacles there. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is there. If you have any messages that you're feeling for Capricorn, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's get it going here. Page of Pentacles. What is it doing? Oh, okay. All right. I mean, so we have a card that could potentially, or an energy that could come out of the blue. That's the vibe I'm getting here. So we do have the Magician in reverse here. And to me, it's like, all right, this isn't something I planned for. This isn't something I manifested. This isn't something I brought in. But yeah, there could also be a situation where it's like you need to have a very controlled response. So again, when with all this energy around communication and speaking and talking, Spirit could be saying like, all right, Capricorn, just be very measured in how you communicate yourself. Be very measured in your response, because there could potentially be surprising or unexpected talks. I'm already feeling it with all the stuff up here and with all the stuff we have coming up. Now, the Magician, usually a card of manifesting, usually a card of control, does also have that hidden ritualistic type of energy similar to this moon. When it's in reverse, to me, it's like a jack in the box where it's like, ta-da, here I am. So again, those two main messages, I'm already picking up some conversations or messages that you might not be anticipating. So whether it's a conversation from someone you weren't expecting to speak to, whether it's a conversation about a topic you weren't expecting to have, there could be various coming in this time. And I think you shouldn't have, or try your best not to have a knee jerk reaction, because Spirit could be saying, like, all right, just take a breath before you respond. I don't know why I keep feeling that. I don't know why it's saying that, but you need to be very measured in how you respond and approach to someone or something. That's the main message. So we're just going to keep moving. We're not going to get too stuck in the muck there because we still have plenty of stuff to go. Let's see what's up with the moon. So why is the moon here for the Cappies, please? What's happening with that mystery? Thank you. Yeah, and another one of your power cards in reverse underneath here. So yeah, it's like it's there's a couple ways it could go. There's the more measured approach that we're seeing here, and then it's like, all right, well, you know what? Screw it. Screw the measured approach. I'm just gonna say what I want and do what I feel. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I never judge. I personally think a measured approach is possible. There's just so much chit chat for some reason. I saw a very similar thing in the fire signs this week in particular. It's like a lot of talking, a lot of yapping. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is another one of your power cards, usually in the upright. She's abundant, blessings, very stable and predictable. In reverse, underneath the moon, it ties already into what I was seeing about these conversations you're not expecting to have. Or this is that let loose approach where it's like, you know what? They won't be expecting this, so let me get ahead of it. It's kind of like a preemptive type of energy too. So for some of you, maybe there's a situation or something where you're thinking about taking preemptive action, or where it's like, you know what, let me jump in before this gets worse. It's like giving me that kind of energy. So it's odd. Like where this one in the front, just very measured, very predictable. This one in the center is like, you know what? Let me throw a curveball here. It's like, all right, you want to surprise me? Let me surprise you. It's like giving me that. So very unique for a Capricorn reading, that's for sure. And then also the fact that all these court cards, lots of people showing up here. Let's go in on the Page of Swords, then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadows. So yeah, I don't think we need to overtalk this here in the center. It's just really reaffirming that energy we saw in the front. I still like the measured approach though, if I'm being honest with you. If you have a way to approach something where you can like either get ahead of it or take a more measured, methodical approach, I think that's the best way. That's how it feels to me. But let's see what's going on with the Page of Swords. So why is Mr. Page of Swords here, please? Thank you. Yeah, so someone like watching from the sidelines. So watch out for anyone like trying to butt into your business, or it's like somebody who's observing your business from the sidelines, like even if they're not involved in it. Like I'm getting spectators. That's how it feels to me, because there is somebody that's observing and watching. Okay, so maybe this energy here in the center is like, all right, let me say something, let me do this, and then judge the reaction. That could potentially be it, because remember, he's the watcher. But the High Priestess, more Pisces energy, I also link her to other water signs, is also extremely mysterious. She is one of the shrouded, hidden, unexpected types of cards. So when it's under the Page of Swords, it's like somebody, you know, watching from the bleachers, or somebody that's watching from the shadows. And again, I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm not trying to like get too wild with my wordplay. But when I see this combination, it's like observers. So again, maybe there's a situation and like there's people observing how you might handle it, or observing how you might respond to it. Or again, maybe there's something where it's like you should throw a little feeler out, dip your toe in the water first, and then judge by that. But there is definitely a lot of observation going on, even if you don't realize it, even if you don't notice it, even if you don't see it. There's someone watching. There's someone paying close attention. So, and it doesn't feel like they're directly involved either. That's like the odd thing. It's like this person's not even directly involved. It doesn't feel like eavesdropping per se, but it's just somebody watching. I think you get what I'm saying. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow cards. So a lot of nuanced stuff happening here, Capricorn. Different approaches to things, a lot of speaking. We have energy that's like all out there, and then we have a lot of shrouded energy here. But if you kindly look in the box position number one, we have the Page of Pentacles with the Magician in reverse. So again, that's the first little hint that there could be surprising, unexpected talks coming in. I think the best approach is a measured approach. So it's like, all right, well, take a breath and think about how you're going to respond to this, or think about what you want to say first before you do. That's how it feels. Moving to the center, we have the moon with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Total opposite, where either this is somebody taking preemptive action, where it's like, all right, well, let me do something first before this even happens. And it could also be someone that's purposely throwing a curveball. It's like, all right, well, you think I'm predictable? Try this on for size. And again, it doesn't have to be malicious, but it's an energy that's trying to get out in front of something. Moving to the back end, we have the Page of Swords with the High Priestess in the upright. To me, someone observing from the sidelines or observing from the distance. This could even be someone checking a reaction, where it's like, all right, well, let me throw this out there and see how Capricorn reacts. Or maybe that spirit asking you to do that as well. But there's observing, right? Like even if it's someone you don't even realize, it's like someone's paying attention here or watching. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for you. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. Let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for the Cappies? In the shadows. Thank you. Yeah, another person. Surprise, surprise. So you're getting a lot of people, and I think that it's been that way for a couple weeks now, where you've been getting more court cards than you normally do. Now, the Knight of Wands, if this isn't a fire sign, I really don't want to link too much into the zodiacals, because we pretty much have every single zodiac sign out here. This is big fire sign energy, though. When I see the Knight of Wands, it's a card of action and making moves. So when we see the Knight of Wands in the shadows, it's like someone acting a way that they don't normally do, or just acting in a way where it's a little unpredictable. This is like a loose cannon type of energy. So again, I'm not calling you that, but there could be someone around you where they might be acting a little bit different with the Knight of Wands. Now, this card can be good. It's good at moving things forward, but a big shadow side of this Knight of Wands is that sometimes it acts before it thinks. And we saw something similar within the reading this week, where there might be someone that just does something before fully thinking it through. So watch out for impulsive decisions or impulsive responses in this time, because the Knight of Wands is huge for that in its shadow sense, because it just gets so fired up. But we're just going to let him chill out right there. And yeah, Capricorn, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you'd like to have a little chat with me, you can book a personal reading with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The calendar for August is up, so you could go check out the availability over there. But for the August subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my most favorite decks, the classic Gilded Tarot Royale. It's beautiful, and it's definitely one of my go-to decks. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, we have a very easy question this month. Out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one is your favorite? Is it the one that attaches to your zodiac sign? Is it one where you just like the art? You can put that answer down in the comments, and you will be entered to win, my friends. And as usual, the winners will be announced in the community tab at the end of the month. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.